I love flat gel. We played around with silicone for years, because originally we did everything in foam latex, and actually if we had one more pair of hands up here, somebody from the audience, you with the red scarf. Gosh, it's like a generation game, isn't it? It's great.
But Nick, I don't need a massage.
Have you ever been humiliated? No, you get back in. You get back. Just keep your hand there while Steve does the gluing, just so I can talk for a second. Alright? If it goes wrong, it's your fault. Hello. Forgot what I was going to say now. Completely forgot.
You're talking about the types of makeups.
Oh yeah, we always use foam latex, which we use for years and years and years, which is a great material, does lots of things. Silicone, because it's translucent, it looks like skin. In the last 10 years, you've seen a lot of makeups done in silicone, and if it had been run in foam, a makeup just looks better in silicone. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's a nice material. It used to be very unreliable. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. We spent some years trying to get it to be more efficient and reliable. It got very scary on movies like The Fifth Element and things like that. We experimented. Phantom Menace, not a movie we tend to talk about much, but we experimented with a lot of stuff. Paul Spateri did an awful lot of silicone stuff. He's sitting over there. He should stand up and take a bow, because embarrassment can be spread. Yeah.
Thank you for my face.
He spent years spending a very large amount of my budget working out how to make silicone work. And a lot of what we do now, you know, has come through people like him figuring out how to make this stuff functional, because it's all very well making something work just once. It's got to happen every single day, all the time. So, getting it to the point where we trust it is fantastic. That's bloody close, isn't it? So, we use this stuff, it works better, it warms up eventually to sort of body temperature, actors like it, because it sort of feels like flesh. It moves much more realistically than foam ever did. But it is heavy. So, unlike a foam makeup, if it's a big alien creature-y thing, which doesn't weigh much because it's foam, if you do it in flat gel, it's a heavy material. On Potter, we had some guys playing giants. They were enormous people, very big, great big fat guys, but the heads they were wearing weighed kilos. And it moved great and it worked great, but it was incredibly heavy. So sometimes we make silicone pieces with foam inserts inside to get the weight way down, if we can, because eventually an actor will just fall over. And if you're doing a creature, say, with a very long nose or very big ears, you will actually make your silicone in different densities, because what moves really softly, say, on a cheek, if you do it to a nose, just looks rather embarrassing, especially on a cold day. So you tend to want to make a stiffer mix for the nose or long ears, things like that. And in the same mould, pour in a softer mix for all places that actually move well.
Yeah, I remember that was one thing about this. It's not this particular makeup, but certainly the grip of makeup was quite heavy.
He did complain.
Yeah, because I mean, your neck muscles are very finely balanced to support the weight of your head, which has been there for years. On most of us. But then when you add sort of a load of extra weight in different places, the neck muscles sort of are out of tune a little bit. So it does take some getting used to. But ultimately, it looks a lot better, and it is more comfortable once it warms up, because it doesn't tend to pull. The foam latex piece, it sits on you, but then it fights you when you try and move your face. It always wants to spring back to its sort of original shape, whereas the flat gel, you can kind of hold it in different positions, and it doesn't fight you so much as a performer, certainly.
No, you just hold it up like that. Right?
So that was the intelligent bit for the whole thing.
That was brilliant, actually.
You
threw me.
I was very impressed, actually. I've never heard you speak like that before.
No. So I've been rehearsed.
Well done.
You went to get to the song. Now.
Oscar nominated, this chap here. Yeah, woo, there's one whoop there.
One whoop.
Probably an American.
No, it's Mark Hilliard, who's also Oscar nominated.
2 Oscar nominated people.
Mark also worked on Potter for a very long time, so he's got an active hand in 2 nominations, which goes to show, even with no dress sense, you can really succeed in this music.
If you do win, you've got to remember who you've got to say thanks to. You got all that.
Yeah. I had a very interesting email from Rick Baker. I hadn't really thought about it until he sent me an email, and you should take note of this, Mr. Coulier. He said, memorize your speech, practice it in front of a mirror, get it to 40 seconds, no more, no less, make sure you are word perfect. And up to that point, I hadn't really worried at all. Because I thought, because all I was thinking, you know, if you do win, you just get up and say what, you know, occurs to you.
Well, the word Warwick doesn't take very long to say, so we're definitely into your 40 seconds.
That is true, yes.
Plus a couple of nice adjectives.
Yeah, I know a few. No.
So how am I looking? Am I transforming into Professor Flitwick?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
sort
of.
of vague.
It's nice to be doing this again, because how long ago did we last do this? It's been a year and a half, and we never thought we'd do it again, so thank you for this great pleasure.
And not once have you done the glue claw.
Yes, I used to
And the first
suffer,
lick of glue goes on.
because I
Because of
can't...
Warwick's height, he often elbowed me right in the Niagara Falls. Never touched the girls though, which was okay.
No,
No.
Nipples, yeah.
Yes. Do you see how far away I'm working?
So I think my fingers beautiful, you can't see the edges.
That's because I'm over here.
It's very interesting for me as an actor sitting in makeup chairs and working with various different makeup artists, even within the same production sometimes. You'll get, they have their own way of doing things often. And Nick, certainly as a makeup artist, when he's doing a prosthetic, he likes to get it on quite quickly. He's, you know, and this is right up his street trying to do this in an hour, because he does like to get it glued on, where other people, I think, Stephen maybe fits into this category, is much more meticulous initially.
He farts around.
You know, and sort of lays it on and sees whether it looks right and that sort of thing. So, but I mean, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong in either of those methods. I'm just explaining it for what it was worth.
You did well.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
Hang on.
I think they're believing it too.
This might hurt.
So, Stephen, you're putting this alcohol on here. For what reason?
Fun.
To keep you,
Wait, does it allow you to sort of blend off the edge of it a bit?
yeah, because the edges are made of cap plastic that encapsulates the silicone, and this alcohol just kind of blends into the skin.
Dissolves it. Is a word we could use, clearly.
Yeah. Very legal.
One of the things we're doing also to speed things up is we know where the moustache goes, we know where the wig goes. I'd never waste my time trying to hide an edge. Okay, there's only one place it's likely to go. Though we do, for some strange reason, have two. I never waste time on something. If you know the wig's going over, this edge here doesn't interest me. There's no point in fussing. I have seen makeup artists who will blend the whole thing in perfectly, as if they've forgotten which bits have been covered. It's like making the edge here disappear, knowing somebody's wearing a shirt and a high collar. There is no point. The only important thing is what time they're going to make you come in the morning. And if you can shorten that time at all, it's better. Also, it has to be said, if an actor sat in a chair for 4 hours and is then expected to do some brilliant performance, you are asking a lot of them.
But some of them can do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're supposed to say that, as you've said that statement, follow it on.
Yeah, I was trying to think.
Close, please.
Closed.
What's your name, by the way? Okay, what's your name?